Do you actually think you can go from 0 to 100 in Ramadan? Maybe you should stop deceiving yourself, because in this video I am going to tell you the proper way to prepare for Ramadan so that it doesn't become overwhelming and lead to back down of all these sweet plans we have for Ramadan. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. You are welcome to my space. My name is Zainab and I speak about Islam and self-improvement so that you become the truest and the highest expression of yourself. First of all, Allahumma balighna Ramadan. Have you started saying yours? It means, oh Allah, allow us to reach Ramadan. Ameen. So we have like 40 days left at the time of making this video. 40 days left until Ramadan. And I just thought to tell you ways you can prepare for Ramadan so that you can make the most out of it. The first tip I have for you is do not be a leaking bucket. A leaking bucket is a bucket that will just drain all your good deeds. It is a bucket that will leak every single thing you do in Ramadan. How can you not be a leaking bucket? It is to stop all your bad habits, all your bad attitude that you have. You gossip, you curse, you hurt people with your words, you tell lies. You just have this thing that you know that it is bad. Just stop all these things before you take them into Ramadan, because all you do now will follow you into Ramadan. And you don't want to have and still continue doing all these things in Ramadan. Then you start doing good deeds. You start reading Quran, you start doing this and that, and you can't find your deeds on the day of Qiyamah. Everything has already leaked away just because you're a leaking bucket. That is my first tip for you. The second tip I have for you is quantity over quality. This phrase is often used to describe that we should have a few things that are better in quality, than a lot of things that are very low in quality. For example, I am going to recite Quran 30 times this Ramadan. I am well prepared. When you clearly know that recitation you're talking about is just, you know that it is God. Just have the intention to recite Quran properly. Even if it is once you can finish the Quran, recite it properly. Recite it with sabr, recite it with tajweed, recite it with correct pronunciation. That way you can have a bigger reward for quality than just little reward for quantity. You get what I mean? Yes. The third tip I have for you is to correct your intention. Some of us have started saying, oh, Ramadan is coming, Ramadan is coming, I can't do this that time because I will be hungry, I will be thirsty, I will be tired, I will be this and that, talking in a negative way about Ramadan. Yes, Ramadan is a month where, we abstain from foods and drink, from Fajr till Maghrib. But we should have the intention, we should correct our intention from that to this Ramadan. I really want to achieve all the ajr, all the reward that I can achieve as much as I can in this Ramadan. I want this Ramadan to be the best of all the Ramadan I've had. I want this Ramadan to be better than the one I had last year. I want this Ramadan, I want to do all the things I couldn't do. I want to pray my Tarawih for we women. I want to do, more ibadah in this Ramadan. Just have that intention, correct it from, I'm going to go to work, how will I cope? My colleagues will be having lunch, this and that. Just correct your intention. The next tip I have for you is to prepare yourself towards Ramadan. Now, for example, last year Ramadan, I was not pregnant, I don't have a baby, everything was smooth. This Ramadan, now I have a baby. So we just have to prepare ourselves, prepare the home, your groceries, go for grocery shopping, in bulk. Just if you want to do deep cleaning, do it before Ramadan so that you can have time for ibadah. I'm not saying you should have time for sleeping or watching. So that you can have time for ibadah in Ramadan. Do all those things. Cook in bulk. Analyze everything that is happening in your life, in your home. You're going to work. Just analyze everything so that your Ramadan will be easier. Because truth be told, I think most of women, our Ramadan is not always as we want it to be. Yes, I get it. When we are cooking, it's also an ibadah. If you don't have the preparation, if you don't prepare your mind already, you're just going to spend all the time cooking sahur, cooking iftar in Ramadan. and cleaning during the day, this and that, then you end up not having time for yourself or having time for the Quran, or for all these Salatul Duha and all those ibadah. So prepare yourself for Ramadan. Don't just have it in mind that okay, Ramadan is coming. Start making preparation in the home. Start pasting stickers at home. Tell your kids Ramadan is coming. Let them know Ramadan is coming. All these little things. Start doing them now. The next tip I have for you is to make dua lists. Start making your dua list. Start writing. Start making dua from now. Ya Allah, help me get closer to you in Ramadan. Ya Allah. We should not forget the first most important thing we should ask Allah for in Ramadan is, Ya Allah, forgive me. Very important. The second one you should ask Allah for is Jannah. Ya Allah, grant me paradise. Then you can follow it with the stuffs of this dunya and all that. And let me give you one tip. Whenever you want to make dua, you can use examples, from the life of the prophets. For example, you can say, Ya Allah, as you rescued Prophet Ibrahim from the fire. When Prophet Ibrahim ﷺ was in fire, Allah sent angel Jibril down to make the fire feel as if, he's in an air conditioner. The fire was cool on his body instead of it burning and, hurting him. Subhanallah. You can just make dua, Ya Allah, as you rescued Prophet Yunus from the stomach of the whale, rescue me from so and so hardship, rescue me from so and so difficulty, rescue me from this. You get what I mean? Just try to use examples, praise Allah from what he has done before in the story of Islam that you've heard before. And let me tell you one thing, whenever you want to make dua, for example, Ya Allah, grant me this job, I need this job, I want to have this job. Say, Ya Allah, if this job is good for me in this dunya and akhirah, make it possible for me, let it be pleasing to me. That way, if you feel like your prayer is not answered, your mindset won't be, Allah did not answer my dua. Your mindset will not be, oh, I have been praying this about one thing and Allah did not answer my dua. No, your mindset will go from, yeah, maybe that thing is not good for my dunya and akhirah. Definitely, it is bad for my dunya and akhirah. That's why Allah did not make it happen. Did you see the difference? And that's where you will be grateful. And remember, Allah says, when you're grateful, you will get more. So when your dua you feel like your dua is not accepted sometimes, when you get to, when we all stand in front of Allah on Yawm al-Qiyamah, on the day of judgment, on the day of accountability, and you just see a very huge deed, among your deeds, you see this mountain hill of deed, and you're like, subhanallah, where did I get this from? Which deed is this? Then Allah tells you, this is the dua that you've been making that did not get answered. This is the dua that you've been asking me every day and night that I did not fulfill in your dunya, during your lifetime. And Allah will make it as a deed for you. And one thing I want us to remember we should make dua for in this Ramadan is your qabr. I feel like most of us, we forget about grave. We just think about death and Jannah, right? Ya Allah, grant me I know, but grave, it's just like the passage for you from this life to hereafter, right? That is where you will be in. And when you're put inside your grave, they cover you and everyone leaves. Your judgment starts. Your soul is returned back into you. So that is where it starts from. I want us to include that in our dua, like, Ya Allah. And there is one dua that I usually say, Allahumma hasibni hisaban yasira. It means, oh Allah, make my reckoning easy. Start to pray for the grave. There is one dua from it's among the dua for the morning and evening dua. Talked about kubur. See, I've forgotten. If I remember it, I'll just put it on the screen. I will search for it and put it on the screen. I still said it this morning. So let us try to ask for forgiveness, pray for Jannah, pray for your grave. Ya Allah, do not make my grave difficult for me. They said if someone is a righteous person, the grave will be so wide, like a garden. It will be beautiful, like a flower. But when someone that has a bad deeds a lot and all that, the grave will just start to tighten that person till this rib, the rib will come out at the back. Subhanallah. So all these things, you just start to implement them in your dua. Ya Allah, make my passing away easy. Ya Allah, make my death easy, and all those things. So start to make a dua list. By the way, if you are hearing some cooing of baby, I have a baby at my back. I have a baby here, so just pardon that. The next tip I have for you, let me check my notes, is fill your heart with love. If someone has wronged you, just let it go and move on. Try to let it go. If you don't know how to let go, if you find it difficult to let go, my last video was about how to let go of grudges, hatred, bitterness, resentment you have towards other person or other people. You can watch that video. As a Muslim, it will be very helpful to you to let go, of grudges and all that, and just move on. Watch the video. The link will be in the description box, or I'll put it up here or at the end of the video. It will be in the description box, definitely. So if someone wronged you, try to forgive them. Even if they don't come to you to beg for forgiveness, just let it go out of your heart so that you can have a peaceful and a kind heart filled with love. And if you have wronged someone, please, just for the sake of Ramadan, go to the person and just free your heart, free yourself before you walk into Ramadan. Start with a clean heart filled with love and kindness. Another tip I have for you is to start small. Remember how I said you can't go from 0 to 100% in Ramadan? That is very true. Because what you've not been doing all this time, you cannot do it in Ramadan. It will be very difficult for you, and latest, the first, second, third day, you're done with it, you're tired of it, and khalas, you're just tired of it, and you drop it. So start by reading Quran little by little. If you are the type that have not picked up your Quran since last Ramadan, we are not judging here. No one is judging you. Just go and pick up your Quran. Start reciting it little by little, so that before you get into Ramadan, it will have been part of you. Well, there is a saying that when you read Quran, Quran reads you. So it will have been a part of you. Even if you don't want to pick the Quran, your body will feel like, okay, let me just pick it up and today and recite something. Yeah, so when you start now, it will be very easy for you in Ramadan, because we still have 40 days. It's a lot of days, over a month. Start waking for tahajjud slowly. Even if it's just 30 minutes before Fajr, start waking for tahajjud slowly, bit by bit. Start skipping lunch. Ramadan, of course, you won't have lunch. Start skipping lunch once in a while. Or maybe you can just go for the Mondays and Thursdays prophetic sunnah fast. You can just go for that. And the Ayam Bid, the 13th, 14th, 15th of the month, Islamic month, of course, you can just go for that and start small. Start moistening your tongue with dhikr. Subhanallah, alhamdulillah, la ilaha illallah, Allahu akbar, la hawla wa la quwwata illa billah, hasbunallah wa ni'mal wakil. All this dhikr, there are just a lot of dhikr. Astaghfirullah, all this, there are lots of dhikr. Start moistening your tongue. You're walking, you're washing the dishes, you're cleaning the home, you're on your way to the work. Start to chant your adhkar. Start to do all those things, because it will be very easy for you to do in Ramadan. And any deed you do in Ramadan, the ajar will be multiplied, the reward will be multiplied for you. Ladies, start to dress modesty. If you are the type that only in Ramadan you start to wear your hijab, we are not judging, like I said, but you can start it now. Start now, so that when you get into Ramadan, you will not feel weird, like, why am I wearing this? Why am I feeling it? Oh, it's because of the hijab I'm wearing. Oh, I can't wait for this Ramadan to end. No, start it now. May Allah reward you abundantly. So start sending salawat upon the Prophet also. Allahumma salli wa sallim. Start sending salawat upon the Prophet. Give blessings to the Prophet and his household and all that. Because when you start now, it will be very easy for you to continue during the month of Ramadan. And the last tip I have for you is to open your ears and your heart to this surah. or to this verse I'm about to read to you. Now, this surah is Surah Al-Mu'minun. If you're not familiar with this surah, you can just go to your Quran that has translation so that you can understand what I'm about to read, and probably I'll put it on the screen so that we can all see what I'm about to read. Surah Al-Mu'minun, verse 1 says, Qad aflaha al-mu'minun. It says, successful indeed are the believers. So, who are the ones that are believers? Who are the ones that are successful, rather? Alladhina fi salatihim khashi'un. It said, those who humble themselves in prayer. And it also says, verse 3 says, Walladhina hum anil lagwi mu'ridun. It says, those who avoid idle talk. I know by now you know what I'm talking about. Idle talk, gossips, things that does not even concern you. It is not a trait of a successful believer. وَالَّذِينَ هُمْ لِفُرُوجِهِمْ حَافِظُونَ. And those who guard their chastity. Chastity. They guard their private parts and all that. And those who are properly observant of their prayers. Okay, now let me ask you a question. Whenever you miss your salah or whenever you haven't prayed, how do you feel? I know we feel some kind of a way that I need to pray. And at the end of the day, when you finish praying after your prayer Isha, do you know the amount of weight that gets lifted down my heart? So when after Isha, though I do pray witr, it's kind of like a sunnah that is obligatory for me. So I make sure I pray my witr. So whenever I pray Isha and I'm done with my witr as well, I just feel relieved. So relieved. Like, now I can go and sleep, or now I can go and watch anything. Now I have time, I just feel that way. So it says, verse 9 says, and those who are properly observant of their prayers. So when you're observant of your prayers, the adhan is called Bismillah. You went to pray, you are really observant of your prayers, or you pray 5 times daily, you do all those things. And verse 10 also says, Ulaika umul warithun. These are the ones that will be awarded. So if you want to be awarded, you can go back to this surah from verse 1 to verse. And it also says in the next verse, 11, it says, paradise as their own, they will be there forever. Subhanallah. And that is for the mu'minun. You can go to this verse from verse 1 to 11, or you can just read the whole verse with the translation so that you can know what it really talks about. I think my baby is awake now. Okay, I'm going to end this video here. I really hope we can all implement all these tips, inshallah. So till I see you again in my next video, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Fi amanillah.